Hello there, everyone. Welcome to another monthly lottery reading. If you are new, then let me explain briefly. We have lots of names in this bowl. These are the names of my supporters who decided to join the monthly lottery. And if you would also like to join and have a chance to win a reading, you can do so by checking out the description below, where I explain how you can do that via my website or via Patreon. There are different tiers and different chance levels. So the simple entry is $2. That means you're added to the bowl once. And if you'd like a double chance, you pledge $4, and $9 is providing you with a triple chance and a written reading. And at the $15 level, you receive a 5-minute personalized video every month. And you also get a chance to win a reading. And experience shows that this is the most popular tier. So let's see. We're going to pull one name randomly, and that person is going to receive a reframing reading. Here we go. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to reach out to you, Drew. If I'm not mistaken, you are one of my Patreon supporters. So I'm going to reach out to you and ask for a negative thought that is typically occurring in your mind, and we are going to work with that in the reframing reading. Alright, so you might notice that some things have changed. This is another day, and by now I have received a reply from Andrew, the winner of this month's lottery, and he's shared a negative thought with me that we're going to be able to work into the reading. And this is how we're going to do the reframing reading, which is a reading supported by the psychological tool of reframing, which is built on this sort of spiritual martial arts concept of not trying to tackle or suppress a negative thought, but instead try to transform its energy into something positive. So Andrew's negative thought, and let me know in the comments if you resonate with this, if you are also struggling with this, is a very specific one. The thought is, I'm breaking the rules by enjoying myself. And here we have a jumping card to assess the thought in its current form. So that's the first card of the reading. So I'm breaking the rules by enjoying myself. It's as though the things I enjoy come at the expense of others or are in direct opposition of the rules. It might come from a strict upbringing and relationship to authority, both in school and at family. Okay. So, we're going to look into this thought. We're going to analyze it first. This first card is the analysis of the thought as it is now. The next card represents its effect on the psyche, on the consciousness. And next, we're going to attempt to reframe it. Let's see if there are any ways to reframe this thought to make it more productive, more helpful. Okay? And the effect of the reframed thought on your consciousness. Okay. So I'm breaking the rules by enjoying myself. It's as though there's some feelings of guilt around pleasure or having fun, which I'm sure many of you can relate to that. So we have Ace of Cups. Is it in reverse? It's in reverse indeed. And the Empress being the representation of how it affects your consciousness. The reframed version, Six of Cups in reverse. No, it's actually upright. Okay, I was wrong, sorry. So it's Ace of Cups upright, Six of Cups upright, and Nine of Wands upright, and Empress in reverse. Okay. All right. So the first thing that comes to mind, or that jumps out at me, is the need to defend yourself, the need to protect the consciousness from these intrusive, invasive ideas that are very emotionally ingrained, and they are attacking you, or they are trying to take control by way of utilizing your empathy. So that's their way in, through your feelings, through your sensitivity, through your desire to connect with others emotionally. But it kind of hijacks that system, and it's very destructive. So let's start with the thought as it is now, the Ace of Cups. So the Ace of Cups is the card of emotional receptivity and openness, no boundaries, no rules, really, no protection from the outside world. A very open and very transparent offering of your vulnerabilities. With the Ace of Cups, we enter the realm of water, which water represents symbolically the emotional world of the psyche. So there's a deep resonance, a deep desire to let others into your heart. But with that openness come these types of thoughts, and there's a sort of tyrannical control over your consciousness. And with the Nine of Wands, we're seeing the importance of actionable ways of protecting yourself from this spiral. And so I'm seeing this as a vulnerability of your psyche, an over-empathizing, perhaps a lack of distinction between you and others, which can come from a strict upbringing, but I think it's a little trickier than that, because it's not it's not merely coming from a place of authority that is clearly suppressive, but it's also mixed with love and interdependence on an emotional sense. So it is coming to your consciousness by these ways of sympathy and synchronicity and emotional synergy with others, especially those who are your loved ones. And I see the role of the mother or a mother-like figure being very distinct in all of this. So back to the Ace of Cups a little bit. So the Ace of Cups is an open wound, an open vulnerability through which you can be controlled. And it comes from the purest, most emotionally generous source within you, which makes it kind of scary, because it is your good nature that is allowing for this process to happen. And the effect on your consciousness, on your psyche, is represented by the Empress reversed, which could be best described or characterized in the most simplest way by saying that it represents a sort of evil stepmother archetype. The Empress upright is a loving mother who is focused on growth and support for the weak, for those who need to be consoled, comforted, and supported, and their growth facilitated. The Empress is giving it her all and is giving warmth and space for that growth. But when it's in reverse, there's a lack of that. And the Empress's heart is turning upside down, and it becomes a demanding and intrusive kind of love that is counterproductive when it comes to growth. So it's very sort of smothering, suffocating, and it's making your psyche and your consciousness restricted. It restrains your growth instead of facilitating it. So this is a very scary tendency here. Now, what to do here is the question. Again, the feeling or the thought that is a recurring theme in your life is, I'm breaking the rules by enjoying myself. And I think underlying it all is, I'm causing pain by enjoying myself. And this is where I think the importance of these Cups cards comes out. It's out of a sacrificial or a sort of an emotional offering type consideration that you are suppressing your own pleasure, your own needs, because this contorted Empress who is showing up in this very strange upside down concave mirror kind of version, where she is not giving, she's not providing space for you to grow, but instead demands space for herself. She's colonizing your consciousness and is suffocating you. So, what to do with this sentiment? We have the Six of Cups here, which is a representation of the innocence of your feelings. And to transform the thought, I'm breaking the rules by enjoying myself, but I'm only a child, and therefore I'm allowed to break the rules. It is children who are immature and have we're giving them a pass, right? Children don't know any better. And you need to recognize within yourself that even if you're an adult, even if you've grown up to be a self-efficacious, independent adult, there's still a part of you that's immature. And it's true for all of us. We don't possess the power to control ourselves to the degree where we're not breaking any rules. And so the transformed thought, the reframed thought that you can consider to project onto your original thought is that I'm breaking the rules by enjoying myself, but I am supposed to be breaking the rules because there's no other way, because I'm a child, I don't know any better. I am breaking the rules because that's what humans do. I'm breaking the rules because it is a key to my innocence to be able to break the rules. It's interesting that in Christianity, we're thinking about original sin, and the idea is that God's given us some rules to live by, to Adam and Eve, and they broke the rules, and therefore they lost their innocence. But I'm proposing a different idea here with the help of the tarot. It is exactly your tendency to break the rules that is the key to your innocence, because innocence and ignorance are very heavily intertwined concepts. You cannot be innocent and know a lot. Innocence and the purity of innocence brings with it a lack of awareness that is natural. When there's an adult who is healthy and stable within their own self-image, they will not be offended by a child's lack of awareness and their propensity to break the rules. It is only an insecure, unstable, inverted empress that would take offense to that. So, taking the position of I'm breaking the rules because I'm innocent is the best way to protect yourself, because protection here is needed from this poisonous idea that you are supposed to be able to control yourself fully, and the idea that in order to live without sin, you need to be in full control of yourself. That's an unachievable goal, and it directly goes against the true idea of innocence. So the Nine of Wands represents the guard and the guarding measures, the safety measures that need to be put in place in order to notice whenever you're going in these directions of self-blame and guilt and these feelings of self-punishment. You need to actively start to go against this programming because it's not helping you, it's not fair, and it is controlling your mind and your consciousness to the degree where it's difficult to connect with your innocence. I think the main message here is that when you think you are culpable, and where you think you're going wrong is actually where your innocence lies, and actively seeking out your innocence is going to have a strengthening effect. It's going to close down those boundaries that have been broken with force, with aggression, through your upbringing, that have created this vulnerability in the system of your consciousness that can be abused by people in power, people who are emotionally manipulative and are trying to treat you as real estate, so to say, in a spiritual sense. They're trying to invade you. And so the Nine of Wands is the representation of the protection that this is going to give you. So whenever you find yourself in a situation where these feelings of guilt come up, in connection with pleasure, in connection with feeling good and having fun, making it obvious to yourself, or repeating it to yourself, was strengthening the idea that it is your innocence that is pushing you to do these things. It's actually your innocence that is the power behind your desire to play, your desire to break the rules, your desire to experiment. It is actually your innocence. It's not anything sinful. It is the very definition of innocence that you're unaware, and that it is okay to be unaware. You cannot avoid hurting other people, but you can make up for anything. So preemptively trying to avoid hurting other people's feelings, especially when it comes to these reversed Empress type people who have unrealistically high expectations and very severe problems with their own self-confidence and their own emotional regulation. It makes no sense to try and appease them, but instead focus on protecting yourself by finding your own authentic innocence and allowing it to break some rules if necessary. So I hope that you enjoyed this reading. I hope that it helped you. Thank you to everyone who decided to watch with us. If you have any thoughts, any reflections regarding this, please let me know in the comments. Let me know if you also struggle with these types of thoughts, and if so, what helps you tame these kinds of negative thoughts. Thank you for watching again, and see you next week.